Good morning, Boker Tov, Dzień dobry. Today I am in Krzepice city. It's a small city between Częstochowa and Wieluń. And before the war, here in Krzepice, there was a lot of Jews. The population was about 40% of the whole population of the city. And when the Germans came and started the war on 1st September 1939, when they came to the city, they started to kill people. And after the war, in the city left only a few people, few Jewish people, who left the city a few years later. And for now, almost nothing left from the Jewish life, but still we can see the synagogue and the cemetery, which I want to show you in this video. As far as we know, the construction of the synagogue began at the turn of 1814 and 1815. The date of completion is not fully known, but it is assumed to be 1822. Above the main door and below the semicircular window, there is a plaque with a stylized Star of David, supported by a pair of lions incorporated into a Hebrew inscription. What a fearful place this is! There is nothing else here but the house of God and the gate to heaven. In the spring of 1940, the Germans created an open ghetto in Krzepice, where they gathered approximately 1.8 thousand Jews. The ghetto included Rębielska, Krakowska, Solna and Dzielna streets. On the orders of the German, a Judenrat and a Jewish police were established. The duties of the Judenrat included, among other things, providing workers sent to forced labor camp for Jews. A selection was carried out in 1941 and early 1942. Selected qualified workers were then resettled to the ghetto in Częstochowa to make up for the labor shortage there. In June and July 1942, most of the Jews from Krzepice were deported to the German Nazi extermination camp Auschwitz-Birkenau. The rest were taken to the ghetto in Sosnowiec. As you may see, the synagogue building was made of brick and stone. And it was built on a rectangular plan with dimensions of 13.6 by 24.1 meters. In the middle, in the eastern part, there was the main prayer hall, and in the western part there was a vestibule, and in Polish it's przedsionek, above which on the first floor there was a babiniec, a place for women. We cannot enter because there is a gate and it's closed. But we can have a look inside. And yes, we can see the roof, which was built in 2020 by the local municipality. But the rest of the building is a ruin. We can see only bricks on the floor. But I like the shape of the windows and that light which is coming from that circle window which is in front of us. I hope that this place will be rebuilt by local municipality. It's totally worth it. And now I want to take you to Jewish cemetery, which is not too far away, only like 500 meters from the synagogue. And here, between the field of corn and forest, there is one of the last witnesses of the Jewish community, which was here before the war. As we can see, there is a date, 18th century, and the last funeral took place in 1946. And here we can read that the local school takes care about the place. And behind the plaque we can see some first tombstones. But I want to take you to the very beginning of the cemetery first, where you can see the remainings of the original fence which was around the cemetery. I think that the fence, like in the other cemeteries in Poland, was taken brick by local people to build other things in the city, and now there is no fence around the place. Look at this beautiful monument. We can see two broken plants as a symbol. There is also a plaque. The Jewish cemetery has been rehabilitated by students of the Hartman High School, Jerusalem, and Janusz Korczak School, Poland, during the month of Elul of the year 5761, September 2000. And this monument is designed by Romual Cieśla, the local constructor. And on the area of 1.4 hectares, 650 tombstones have been preserved, and the oldest of which dates back to 1749. And some have interesting shapes and are a clear testimony to the splendor of the Jewish community at the time. It is one of the largest concentrations of cast iron matzevas in Europe. Some of the cast iron plates were made in the Kuźnica Stara steelworks, which for some time belonged to a Jewish entrepreneur in the 19th century. The last known burial took place in 1946, as I told you before. The area is overgrown with trees and bushes, but it is tidy. And in 2000 and 2009, as we could read on Memorial, school children from Poland and Israel carried out cleaning and renovating works as part of the Anti-Schematy project. Among others, approximately 400 matzevas were placed again. The cast iron plates were cleaned of rust and painted with black anti-rust paint. And that's amazing that so many tombstones here survived the war and time after the war, when Poles also come to Jewish cemeteries and take everything they could, including matzevas, to use them for something else, like roads or part of buildings. And here we can see some nice images like a deer, another deer, two hands, a lion, and the inscriptions in Hebrew or maybe Yiddish are in a very good condition, so people who can read in Hebrew or Yiddish, they can come here and read and maybe find their family members which are buried here in this place.